I cannot even begin to explain the absolute state of emergency my group chats are in right now. Like, I am barely surviving.
Oh, it is a complete disaster.
Literally crumbling. The reality TV universe is just falling apart this week. We have Bravo stars fleeing the country to avoid TikTok comments. We have MTV legends getting the axe without even knowing it. And, like, police departments working overtime.
Working overtime in multiple states, might I add.
Right. Georgia and Tennessee. And marriage is turning into absolute fiction. I am hanging on by a single fragile thread.
It is a complete and total meltdown of the reality television ecosystem. And honestly, I am seated.
You are so ready for this.
I am. I have my popcorn, I have my legal pads full of notes, and I am ready to analytically dissect every single disaster because the delusion is just at an all-time high right now.
So high.
It's not just messy, you know? The mechanics of how these people are trying to spin their downfalls is a masterclass in terrible PR.
It really is. But before we get into all that, welcome back, babes. And, of course, good morning, good day, good night, good life. Babes, whenever you hear this, we hope you have an amazing day, babes.
We really do. And we really needed this afternoon recording session to just process the sheer volume of chaos.
Same.
Because the group chats are moving so fast, I'm getting like actual carpal tunnel just trying to reply with the correct reaction memes.
We are back for another afternoon recording session, and we are ready to unpack the madness for you. And babes, the Casamigos margaritas are officially on deck.
Yep.
Because babes, the summer gods, finally answered our prayers.
The absolute relief I feel right now, it cannot be overstated.
I know.
We've been trapped in this weird purgatory-like weather pattern for weeks, and finally, the clouds have parted.
It is 85 degrees outside.
Bless.
Do you hear me? 85 degrees. I am already, like, emotionally planning the ultimate rooftop vibes. I want to immediately romanticize my life.
Oh, the linen pants are coming out.
Yes. I want to wear linen. I want to sip something out of a coconut. And I just feel like 85 degrees makes everything feel hotter, messier, and dramatically better.
It really does.
After weeks of that weird, gloomy, is it going to rain or am I just depressed weather? I feel emotionally reborn.
Oh, totally. I am actively acting like this weather has single-handedly cured my seasonal depression.
It basically has.
The sun came out and my serotonin levels just skyrocketed. But let's be incredibly real for a second.
Yeah.
This heat is just going to make everyone act completely unhinged.
Wait, you are so right.
When the temperature goes up, the rational decision-making goes entirely out the window. People get sweaty, they get agitated, they drink day margaritas, and suddenly they're making life-ruining choices.
Literally.
Which, honestly, is the exact psychological mechanism fueling half the gossip we are covering today in this deep dive.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe we manifested this weather ourselves. Amanda Francis style. Beverly Hills manifestation queens would be proud.
Look, you know my brain works in spreadsheets and analytics.
It does. You're a total skeptic.
I am. But if you're telling me that we stared at our vision boards hard enough, repeated some affirmations in the mirror, and suddenly the barometric pressure shifted over the eastern seaboard,
I mean, it worked.
I might have to actually believe in manifestation culture. Or, you know, more likely, we're just aggressively pretending our margaritas summon the sun. It's called delusion, and we embrace it here.
I absolutely believe we manifested it. The power of a positive mindset and like a really heavy pour of tequila just cannot be denied.
Very true.
And speaking of amazing things happening, we both got off work a little early today.
Thank God.
Which worked out perfectly, because right after we finished recording, we are heading over to visit our absolute OG Snark queens, Joan and Felicia.
Oh my God, yes. I am already mentally preparing for the sheer level of chaos and the heavily unsolicited life advice we are about to receive.
I miss them so much. They have the most flawless retirement home gossip pipeline in existence.
You really do.
It is genuinely baffling.
Yeah.
Joan somehow always has hotter takes than anyone on Twitter. Like, she will break down a housewives feud with the precision of a Supreme Court justice.
She's ruthless, and Felicia stays ready with the tea. Always.
Always.
She doesn't even need the internet, you know? She just senses disturbances in the gossip force. She probably knew West and Amanda were in Italy before TMZ did. She just felt the betrayal in her joints.
I am expressing deep, deep excitement for their emotional support and their top-tier gossip. I need Joan to tell me everything is going to be okay while simultaneously dragging my outfit.
Oh, she will absolutely read you for filth.
Honestly, Joan and Felicia could probably host this show better than us at this point.
They absolutely could, but they'd demand a higher talent fee and probably more gin.
True.
But before we get to the retirement home, we actually need to discuss the highs and lows of today at work. just to ground ourselves in reality before we completely dissociate into the Bravoverse.
Yes, the daily grind. As the Snark Squad knows, we are both dentists at separate practices. But today was less about teeth and more about universal, soul-crushing workplace chaos.
Naturally.
I will try valiantly to stay emotionally optimistic here. High of the day, someone brought snacks.
A miracle.
A glorious carbohydrate-filled box of joy appeared in the break room, and it changed my entire molecular structure. Like, a donut can save a life.
A true high. Another high, a coworker causing absolute uncontrollable laughter over something completely inappropriate right before a patient walked in.
Oh, I hate when that happens, but I love it.
The sheer adrenaline of trying to compose your face when you want to scream laugh is unmatched. And obviously the ultimate high of just getting out early. It's like a jailbreak.
It is. But the lows, oh, the lows.
Do tell.
The absolute disrespect of receiving emails that could have easily been a 30-second conversation. I'm staring at my screen, reading a 3-paragraph essay about scheduling, and I just want to walk down the hall and say, just use your words.
It is an act of workplace terrorism.
It is.
But not quite as bad as the true villainy of the modern age, which is the coworker who unnecessarily replies all.
Ugh, the worst.
Let's analytically break down the psychology of the reply all. Why does the entire office need to know you agree with the updated parking policy? Just reply to the sender. We are all suffering here.
Literally suffering.
It's performative productivity. I am already doing a sarcastic minute-by-minute countdown to my next vacation. Work is just a temporary state of suffering between trips.
I am trying not to spiral, but you're so right. And speaking of our bodies just generally rejecting our daily lives, we officially finished our vegetarian week last week.
We did.
And babes, we both weirdly feel lethargic now.
It's highly concerning. We introduced meat back into the ecosystem and suddenly we are operating at like 40% capacity?
Barely functioning.
So we have to debate the root cause here. Is it because meat is back in the diet and our digestive systems are going into shock? Or are we just deeply, fundamentally still recovering from the camping trip?
Oh, I am deflecting the blame entirely onto the emotional toll of the camping trip.
You would.
Camping emotionally drained me to my core. The bugs, the dirt, the forced family bonding time without reliable cell service. Re-entering society after family time is an actual nightmare.
It's a rough transition.
My body isn't confused by a chicken nugget, okay? My body is confused by the fact that I had to pretend to enjoy sleeping on the ground for 3 days.
Analytically speaking, your body is simply protesting the concept of adulthood. You went into the woods, you regressed to a primal state of eating beans around a fire, and now you have to go back to reading reply all emails and doing dental procedures.
It's too much.
The food comas are hitting entirely differently now because your metabolism is just on strike. We changed our routine, we craved balance, we missed our vegetarian meals, and now our entire biological rhythm is in total chaos.
I just want to sit on a rooftop with my margarita and never look at an email again. Which honestly actually connects perfectly to the absolute meltdown happening on the East Coast right now.
It really does.
Because you know who else is feeling that intense desire to escape adulthood, responsibilities, and the consequences of their own actions? Reality stars who are literally fleeing the country.
Fleeing. The transition from our camping exhaustion to Bravo stars entering international witness protection is seamless. We have to do a deep dive into the absolute disaster that is the Summer House cast.
Okay, let's unpack Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson.
Yes, let's.
They were caught at the airport, heading to Italy, and then spotted at a restaurant called Civico 4 in Rome, right before the Summer House reunion aired.
At a pasta shop.
I am freaking out over the sheer audacity of this. Imagine going on a romantic Roman holiday while the entire internet is actively tearing you apart.
It's wild.
The anxiety of hiding in a pasta shop, eating cacio e pepe, knowing that your castmates are dragging you on national television back home, I would simply pass out from the stress.
Let's look at the PR mechanics of this move, though. Fleeing the country during your reunion airing is basically the Bravo equivalent of pleading the fifth. You remove yourself from the immediate time zone, so you have a built-in excuse for not live tweeting or responding to cast texts. You know, sorry, bad service in Rome.
So convenient.
Right. But here is where the hypocrisy reaches astronomical levels. Wes Wilson was literally just on his podcast complaining that it is scary to go out in public because of the backlash.
Oh, cry me a river.
He's whining about the rumors that he and Amanda share clothes, which, by the way, he admits they actually do. They share striped shirts.
Sharing clothes with your best friend's ex is a criminal offense in girl world. It is Unacceptable.
Exactly. But if you are terrified of the public, if you are complaining about the TikTok sleuths ruining your peace, why do you go to one of the most heavily touristed, highly photographed European capitals on Earth with the most controversial woman in your orbit?
Make it make sense.
Fleeing to Rome doesn't make the TikTok stop. You can't outrun a Wi-Fi connection, West. It's performative victimhood mixed with terrible geographical strategy.
It is. And Dumois posting the photo of them at the airport. They looked like they were fleeing a crime scene.
Hoods up, sunglasses on.
Yes. But what really gets me emotionally is the absolute destruction of friendships here. Like, West was supposed to be friends with Kyle, who was still legally married to Amanda.
Mess.
And West dated Ciara, who was Amanda's best friend. It's the ultimate betrayal. I just feel so devastated for Ciara.
She handled it well, though.
She completely shut down any chance of reconciling with Amanda. And friendship's ending is the real heartbreak here. The romantic drama is whatever. But losing your best friend over a guy who shares your striped shirts, that is a tragedy you cannot come back from.
It shatters the entire foundation of the show. And while Amanda and West are carb-loading in Rome and avoiding accountability, Kyle Cook is back in the States fighting for his life against internet conspiracy theorists.
Oh my God, Kyle.
People started circulating this massive rumor that his 2021 backyard wedding to Amanda wasn't even real, that it was purely ceremonial for the cameras.
And the way he handled it was so chaotic.
Oh, it was a masterclass in how not to handle a PR crisis. Instead of just posting a marriage certificate and walking away, Kyle claps back on Threads.
Of all places, Threads.
Right. He drops a photo of them at the Hillsborough Town Hall signing the document. But the caption is what we really need to dissect.
He sarcastically listed his credentials to prove he couldn't pull off a fake wedding hoax.
It was unhinged.
He says he has an MBA, he has 2 businesses, he has an SBA loan, and then he says he has the ability to remember his scripted lines from memory when blackout drunk. I cannot believe he typed that out and hit send.
Let's break down the logic of Kyle's bizarre flex here. I can remember my scripted lines while blackout drunk. First of all, is he admitting that Summer House is heavily scripted?
That's what it sounds like.
Because Bravo executives must be having a panic attack reading that. Second, why would being a high-functioning blackout drunk make us trust you more? The argument he's trying to make is, I'm too smart and too busy to pull off a fake wedding. But the argument he actually makes is, I am functionally intoxicated while filming and executing lines given to me by producers. That doesn't prove your wedding was real, Kyle. It just proves you're a highly unreliable narrator.
It is so incredibly sad to watch the end of this relationship play out like this. They had this beautiful wedding in her parents' backyard in 2021. We watched them cry. We watched them commit.
I mean, they did fight a lot leading up to it.
But still. And now they are separated. She's in Rome with his friend, and he's on Threads bragging about his SBA loan and his alcohol tolerance. The absolute mess.
It just goes to show how reality television warps your sense of self-defense. When cornered, Kyle didn't lean on the emotional reality of his marriage. He leaned on his resume and his ability to perform for the cameras.
So true.
But the Hamptons friend group isn't the only East Coast ecosystem completely collapsing under the weight of production right now. We have to pivot to the Housewives because the curtain is being pulled back everywhere.
Yes. From the Hamptons to the city. Let's talk about Brynn Whitfield, the absolute fan favorite of the RHOI reboot.
She was carrying that cast.
She just bailed on the show. She went on a podcast and revealed she left because filming season 15 was miserable and felt icky.
Icky.
She literally talked about how she ripped off her mic pack, fled to London, and spent the entire season kicking and screaming because she was convinced the season was going to bomb.
The visual of Brynn ripping off her mic pack and fleeing to London is iconic. But let's look at the underlying mechanics here.
Wait, I am genuinely devastated that she is gone. She was the best part of the reboot, her chaotic flirtation, her fashion. But I deeply empathize with that feeling.
Do you?
Yes. You know when you're in a project or a job or a relationship, and you just know in your gut that it is doomed. The overwhelming urge to just rip the mic off and escape is so real. I feel that in my soul. She knew the energy was toxic, and she chose her peace.
I hear your emotional empathy, but I have to push back here. What's fascinating to me is the staggering irony of a reality star complaining about fake fights and lying.
Oh, come on.
No, listen. Brynn was complaining that the environment felt icky because people were engineering fake fights and lying to Yuba Hassan. My friend, that is the core mechanism of the genre.
But it shouldn't be that obvious.
You are on The Real Housewives. If everyone got along, told the absolute truth, and went to therapy to healthily resolve their boundaries, The show would be canceled in 3 weeks.
You're so cold.
Ugh.
She just wanted authentic chaos, not manufactured chaos.
Yeah.
There is a difference between organically fighting over a dinner party slight and producers telling people to spread a rumor.
Fair. But you sign a contract to be put in manufactured environments designed to elicit emotional volatility. You can't be mad when the factory produces the product it was built for.
I guess.
But speaking of masterful PR pivots within the Housewives universe, we have to talk about Sai De Silva.
Sai recently sat down for an interview discussing her ongoing, very public divorce from David Craig after 17 years. 17 years.
That is an entire lifetime to disentangle.
It is. She admitted to being shaken up and upset, which is so valid. She said they just grew apart, and once you grow apart, it's really hard to glue it back together. I am genuinely touched by this.
It's definitely heavy.
Validating how hard it is to unglue a life together after nearly 2 decades, that is real heartbreak. To have to do that in the public eye while filming a reality show sounds like actual torture.
It is undoubtedly painful, but I want to highlight the strategic genius of how Sai handled this interview.
Strategy, really.
Yes. She used her own very real, very sad divorce to position herself as the voice of reason and empathy regarding an entirely different franchise. RHOBH's Dorrit Kemsley.
Wait, she really did. She said that during a divorce, your emotions are highly charged, you become a completely different person, and when outside friends try to give positive advice, it just feels like an attack.
Exactly.
She was basically defending Dorrit's erratic behavior during her separation from PK.
Sai is looking at the chessboard. She knows the audience can turn on housewives who act unhinged during a divorce. So she's preemptively setting the narrative. She's saying, look, Dorrit and I are going through it. We are volatile. If we snap at you, it's the trauma. Back off. It's a brilliant way to garner sympathy for herself while extending an olive branch across franchises. It builds an alliance based on shared suffering.
Okay, that is actually kind of brilliant.
Plus, she managed to throw in some thoughts on the new RHOA castmate, Haley Glassman, saying she's sweet and kind with no ill intent.
And she also weighed in on Wes Wilson's leaked meat mail.
Wait, we have to clarify for anyone who missed this. Meat mail.
Yes, Wes Wilson had nude photos leak, and the internet aggressively dubbed it meat mail.
Naturally.
Sai was shocked the nudes leaked, but then she immediately pivoted from West's scandal to being a total Ciara fan. She said Ciara is glowing up, she's stunning, and her body is tea. I love the support for Ciara across all Bravo shows right now. The women are uniting against West.
The cross-franchise alliance against Wes Wilson is strong. But speaking of New York elite circles and completely unexpected collisions, we have a crossover event that sounds like a Mad Libs generated by a feverish Bravo fan.
Oh my gosh. Bethany Frankel's infamous ex-husband, Jason Hoppy.
Yes. It is being reported that Jason Hoppy has remarried and had a baby with Sarah Jessica Parker's former longtime nanny.
The 6 degrees of separation in New York elite circles is spiraling me out of control.
It's too much.
How does this even happen? How do these orbits collide? Is there just a single coffee shop on the Upper East Side where all the Bravo celebrities and HBO stars swap staff and ex-husbands?
It is the Bravo and Sex and the City crossover that literally no one asked for. But what makes it so hilariously ironic, analytically speaking, is the history here.
Oh, the Bethany history.
Think about Bethany Frankel's entire brand right now. She spent all of 2023 aggressively trashing the Chet and Just Like That reboot on her TikTok. She was calling it the worst show ever, ripping it to shreds on her platform specifically because they made a joke about her in the Hamptons on the show.
I remember that.
And now her ex-husband, with whom she had one of the most notoriously contentious decade-long divorces in reality TV history, is having a baby with SJP's nanny. The universe has a deeply twisted sense of irony.
It is so messy. I can't even imagine the passive-aggressive energy floating around the Upper East Side right now. Can you imagine the school drop-offs, the tension?
Suffocating.
But speaking of housewives desperately trying to control the narratives around their marriages and their shows, let's check in on Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Ah, yes. The fresh meat of the franchise.
Andy Cohen recently commended Rulanemi Pontarelli for trying and completely failing to hide her husband Brian's affair from the cameras during season 1.
It was a disaster.
And he basically called her an active participant rather than someone stonewalling production.
This is a fascinating look into the psychology of reality TV production, what constitutes participating. Rula clearly thought she could outsmart the producers.
She tried.
She skipped scenes, she skipped cast trips, she aggressively defended her husband when literally everyone in Rhode Island knew he had a mistress, and Andy is praising her. Why? Because her failure to hide the secret became the driving narrative engine of the season. She wasn't stonewalling, her terrible, transparent cover-up was the content.
It's like the harder you try to hide a secret on reality TV, the more it becomes the entire focus of the season.
Exactly.
If she had just admitted it on day one, it would have been one episode of drama. But because she lied, it became a 15-episode investigation.
The cover-up is always the storyline. Always. Which brings us to a seasoned veteran who knows how to play the game, but is currently battling the leaks. Lisa Barlow over on RHOSLC.
Mother.
She is currently denying rumors of a mega clause in their Season 7 contract.
Yes. The rumor was that production instituted a massive financial penalty for anyone leaking cast secrets to the press because the Salt Lake cast leaks like a sieve. Every single fight ends up on a blog before the cameras even go down.
It's bad.
Lisa says she didn't sign any contract like that and that people should just naturally follow the rule of not leaking.
Naturally follow the rule. In reality TV, that's adorable. Let's look at why a network would institute a mega clause. When you leak to the blogs, you dilute the product. The network spends millions producing an episode. If the audience already knows the entire beat-by-beat fight from an Instagram account 6 months before it airs, the ratings drop. So hitting them in the wallet is the only way to maintain the exclusivity of the narrative.
Makes total sense.
But Lisa is spinning this, claiming Season 7 is going to be so different. More layers, more family dynamics, less group chaos. And she's dropping a new song.
The pivot to music.
I have to ask you, and I'm asking the listener directly right now, does a single soul on this planet actually want a new Lisa Barlow song? Or do we just want her to stomp away from a table and scream about her tequila on a hot mic?
Honestly, I want the hot mic. The music is fun for camp value, but her unhinged rants in a fur coat outside a Sprinter van are where she truly shines.
Exactly.
But speaking of people desperately trying to control the narrative, let's head down south. Because while the East Coast is dealing with PR spins, the South is dealing with blatant cheating and panicking pastors.
The Deep South is delivering deep, structural mess this week. Let's start with Southern Charm.
Taylor Ann Green officially confirmed her split from Gaston Rojas after 2 years. And how did she do it?
Oh, it was iconic.
By posting a TikTok dancing on a boat with the girl Gaston cheated with.
It is a masterclass in petty digital warfare.
I am absolutely living for the toxic feminist solidarity of dancing with the other woman. She put in the comments that the girl actually knew Gaston was in a relationship, but they still bonded over dumping him.
Beautiful.
And to make it even messier, Sally Carson is taking a victory lap.
Sally Carson, who previously dated Gaston, warned everyone he was garbage and had a massive falling out with Taylor over it.
Yes, Sally is in the TikTok comments saying she is celebrating people finally realizing he's a piece of shirt and she's happy Taylor got out.
Look, the toxic solidarity is highly entertaining, but we need to analytically point out the sheer, suffocating exhaustion of the Southern Charm dating pool.
It's so small.
It is an incestuous reality TV recycling bin. Let's map this out. Taylor dated Shep Rose for 2 years. Then she hooks up with Austin Kroll. Then she dates Gaston.
Okay, keeping up.
Sally hooks up with Shep, makes out with Austin, dates Andrew Dietz, who Taylor also hooked up with, and dates Gaston. Are there only 6 single men with trust funds in Charleston?
Literally 6.
It's like they are passing around the same contaminated petri dish of boat shoe-wearing men.
It is so incredibly incestuous. The Venn diagram of their dating lives is just a single circle. But they are all trauma bonded now, so maybe Taylor and Sally can finally be friends again.
We'll see how long that lasts.
But if you want to talk about true Southern scandal, we have to leave Charleston and go to RHOA with Kelly Potter.
The Mile High Club pastor allegations. This is where audience participation crosses the line into absolute madness.
Yes. Portia Williams accused Kelly of sleeping with a married pastor on the show, and Phaedra Parks acted like she knew exactly who it was.
Of course she did.
So the fans, being the absolute FBI agents they are, assumed it was Giselle Bryant's ex-husband, Pastor Jamal Bryant, and started relentlessly tagging his congregation.
I find it endlessly fascinating and highly alarming how reality TV fans weaponize their free time.
It's scary.
They are actively harassing churches. They are leaving comments on Sunday service live streams trying to figure out who Kelly Potter slept with. The parasocial relationship has completely dissolved the boundary between a television show and a real-life religious institution. It is unhinged behavior.
It got so bad that Kelly went on Instagram Live begging fans to stop tagging congregations. She clarified she's not in the Mile High Club, she didn't sleep with a married pastor, and she threatened to deal with freakin' fraud, meaning Phaedra and Portia, at the reunion.
Freakin' fraud is a solid, highly branded reunion insult. I'll give her that. It has great alliteration.
It really does. She even clarified that Pastor Jamal Bryant actually renewed her vows to her ex-husband 10 years ago, so the timeline doesn't even make sense.
People just want to connect dots that don't exist.
But Kelly also had to address this rumor that she was mad at Cynthia Bailey for hiring her former stylist. Kelly was like, I don't care. People pass around stylists like they pass around men. She said she was actually mad because Cynthia put her in a filthy, dirty room on a cast trip. I am deeply offended on behalf of the stylist who got dragged into this mess for no reason.
The stylist is just collateral damage in the housewives' warfare, but what Kelly is doing here is classic deflection.
I think.
Oh, absolutely. She takes a massive scandal, sleeping with a married pastor, and tries to recenter the narrative on a minor slight, a dirty room on a cast trip. It's an attempt to lower the stakes of her storyline.
Okay, that makes sense.
But speaking of avoiding the Bravo warfare entirely, K. Michelle has made a firm declaration about her musical career.
K. Michelle stated she will never collaborate with Bravo singers.
No Luan de Lesseps collaborations. No Shiana Shea Good as gold remixes.
None. She said because she is a Soul Train and NAACP award winner, she's not a dabbler. She doesn't dabble in reality TV music.
I'm fair.
She said she only respects Condi Burrus, and she is focusing entirely on her upcoming country album, which, honestly, I respect the boundary. Protect your art. But then she went on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy Cohen asked her why she processes her feelings with the cast on Twitter instead of to their faces.
And her excuse was legendary in its absolute toxicity.
She said she uses Twitter because it is her mental journal. She goes home in the middle of the night, realizes she got played by the other women, and just tweets it all out instead of confronting them in person.
Let's analytically break down Twitter as a mental journal. A journal, by definition, is a private book with a lock on it that you hide under your mattress.
Literally.
Twitter is a global broadcasting platform owned by a billionaire where millions of people can read your intrusive thoughts in real time. Calling Twitter your mental journal is the most toxic, gaslighting excuse for internet beef ever invented.
It's so funny, though.
I didn't mean to start a public feud, Andy. I was just journaling my feelings to my 3 million followers. It's brilliant in its absurdity. It allows her to throw grenades into the cast dynamic and then play the victim when they explode.
It is such a wild defense. I'm just journaling, ignore the mentions. But listen, K. Michelle wants to stay out of the Bravo mess, but out in L.A., the mess is absolutely unavoidable, whether it's politics, real estate, or just throwing things across a room for screen time.
The West Coast is currently operating in pure survival mode. Let's start with Beverly Hills real estate.
Dord Kemsley's $6.5 million mansion is officially in foreclosure.
A $6.5 million foreclosure, that is not just a missed payment, that is a massive financial freefall.
It is, but she gave an interview claiming she isn't financially dependent on the show, and she absolutely doesn't expect Perke to pay for her life.
Sure, Jen.
She said she works and buys all her own designer items. She did admit the house situation is embarrassing and that she is willing to downsize, but she also said she regrets her aggressive behavior at the season 15 reunion because she was in a dark place.
I am going to push back incredibly hard on Dordt's delusion here. Let's juxtapose her statements. She says she isn't governed by fear and that she can completely support herself without the show, but she's losing a $6.5 million house. It's very easy to say you aren't governed by fear when you are still sitting in a mansion covered head to toe in Chanel logos.
Very easy.
Downsizing from a $6.5 million estate to what, a $3 million condo? It's an aggressive PR spin to make her look like an independent, empowered woman amidst PK's financial ruin. But the math is simply not mathing. You don't go into foreclosure on a house that expensive if your personal businesses are booming.
It's so true. She is just trying to save face. But on a much more grounded, genuinely emotional note in Beverly Hills, Denise Richards posted the most beautiful tribute to her 15-year-old daughter, Eloise.
This was a jarring shift in tone, but genuinely touching. Eloise has special needs. She was diagnosed with a deletion in chromosome 8, which causes significant developmental delays.
Denise posted this reel of Eloise, calling her the biggest angel with a selfless heart. But Denise was so incredibly vulnerable, admitting that raising her gets more challenging because she worries so much about Eloise's future the older she gets.
It's a very real fear.
I get very emotional thinking about this. Denise has been through so much publicly, and you can just see how fiercely she loves and protects that girl. I just want to praise her vulnerability.
Mhm.
Being a special needs mom is incredibly tough, and sharing that profound fear of the future, who will take care of her when I can't, is so brave.
It is a stark contrast that highlights the absurdity of the reality TV bubble. You have Dorrit worrying about the public optics of downsizing her mansion, and right next door, Denise is grappling with the lifelong, intensive care of her child. It really grounds you in what actually matters.
It really does.
But because this is Los Angeles, the moment of clarity is fleeting, and we have to immediately swing the pendulum back to the absolute circus.
We really do. Spencer Pratt is campaigning for mayor of Los Angeles.
Just let that sentence wash over you for a moment. Spencer Pratt.
It's hilarious.
The man with the flesh-colored beard from the hills, the architect of the Heidi montage.
Yes. Lisa Rinna was asked about it, and she publicly stated she would not vote for him. She told Variety, "I'm a reality person. You wouldn't want me as mayor. Let's have somebody that's already been mayor."
Okay, we must remain entirely neutral on the actual politics of this. We are not endorsing any candidates, left, right, or center, but purely from a sociological, reality TV, analytical perspective.
Yeah.
Imagine the absolute, unmitigated chaos of Mayor Spencer Pratt running the infrastructure of the second largest city in America.
I'm picturing it.
City council meetings conducted with healing crystals to balance the budget. Press conferences about the water supply interrupted by Heidi Montag releasing a pop single.
The hummingbird feeders outside City Hall. It would be a fever dream. But Lisa Rinna is actually making a very logical point here. You probably don't want a reality star running your infrastructure. The skills required to start a fight at SUR do not translate to fixing potholes.
Though, to be fair, a reality star running LA might be slightly less chaotic than what's currently happening in the Valley.
Oh my gosh, yes. Kristen Dout teased the season 3 finale of The Valley on Harry Jowsey's podcast.
What did she say?
She said that someone literally throws something at someone else purely to get more screen time.
Throwing an object for screen time is reality TV 101. It's the most basic mechanic for securing your contract for the next season.
But my take on this is sheer shock. Hear me out. Kristen Dout was on Vanderpump Rules for years. She has seen people slapped, drinks thrown, backhands delivered in parking lots, entire tables flipped.
Oh, she's seen it all.
And this is the most unhinged thing she has seen someone do for a camera. What on earth did they throw?
That is the crucial context. If Kristen Dout, the architect of some of the most chaotic, physically volatile television moments of the 21st century, is shocked by an object being thrown, it cannot just be a martini.
No way.
It has to be heavy. It has to be sharp. Or it has to be deeply personal.
And I am terrified and I cannot wait to watch it. But honestly, throwing a drink on The Valley is child's play compared to the true, dark reality TV chaos this week.
The transition into the true crime territory.
Because while cast members in LA are fighting for screen time by throwing things, the true crisis in reality TV right now isn't happening on camera. It's happening in police reports.
Let's look at how the real-world criminal liability is exposing the darkest corners of these reality networks.
Let's start with Lindsie Chrisley. She was arrested in Georgia for DUI, specifically less safe DUI, attempting to elude police, reckless driving, and speeding.
A laundry list of charges.
She got released on a $5,000 bond. And her excuse to TMZ. She claimed she was speeding past a car on a 2-lane road because they almost hit a mysterious animal, and she was swerving to miss hitting them and the animal.
I am going to completely dismantle this excuse from a legal and logical standpoint.
Please do.
You are swerving to miss a mystery animal. Okay, fine, let's pretend that happens. But you are simultaneously being charged with trying to elude the police. Did the mystery animal tell you to step on the gas and outrun the sirens? The math on the mystery animal defense completely disintegrates the second the red and blue lights turn on and you don't pull over. It's a panicked lie to TMZ to save her brand.
It is such a bad excuse.
Yeah.
But I have to express genuine, deep concern here, because this comes right after her ex-boyfriend, David Landsman, was arrested for aggravated assault and strangulation against her.
Right, which is awful.
The domestic violence context there is horrifying, and I am genuinely worried for her safety and mental state right now. She is clearly spiraling.
It's a very dark, dangerous spiral for the Chrisley family, but unfortunately, it is not the darkest mess on our docket today. We have to talk about Ryan Edwards and Amanda Connor from Teen Mom.
Oh, go.
Both of us are going to drop the heavy sarcasm here to genuinely react to this because the darkness of this cycle is absolutely terrifying.
It really is. I'm sick to my stomach over it. Ryan Edwards called 911 on his wife, Amanda Connor. He accused her of using narcotics and fleeing with their baby.
Just horrible.
Amanda was arrested for DUI and child neglect. They gave her a $16,000 bond, strapped an ankle monitor on her, and issued a strict no-contact order with her own daughter.
But the timeline doesn't stop there. The very next day, Amanda called the cops on Ryan to try and get her belongings from their house. She told dispatch that he has a history of physical abuse.
It just keeps getting worse.
And she previously sent a creator photos of a black eye, claiming Ryan did it. Ryan then posted on Facebook that dealing with Amanda's relapse and legal trouble might be his karma for what he's put his family through in the past.
I just feel physically sick for the kids involved in this. Between Ryan's older kids with Massey and Mackenzie and this new baby with Amanda, these children are caught in a massive, terrifying crossfire of severe addiction, domestic violence allegations, and constant arrests.
It's completely unstable.
It is deeply tragic, and neither of them should be anywhere near a child right now. The trauma being inflicted on these kids is irreversible.
It is a devastating cycle of generational trauma playing out in real time, funded by a network that historically looked the other way. But to add an element of absolute dystopian surrealism to this tragedy, Farrah Abraham has entered the chat.
I couldn't believe this when I read it. My jaw was on the floor.
Farrah Abraham, who recently got her 5-year AA chip, publicly offered to be Amanda's out-of-state sponsor.
Wild.
She cited the profound trauma of losing her daughter Sophia's dad to an alcohol-related crash and offered to help Amanda through her intensive trauma program.
It is wild to see Farrah Abraham stepping in as the voice of recovery reason. But honestly, if she has 5 years sober and wants to help someone hit rock bottom, maybe that's exactly what Amanda needs.
Okay.
An out-of-state sponsor who knows exactly how toxic the MTV reality bubble is, someone who has survived the exact same media circus.
The surrealism of Farrah Abraham being the stabilizing force in a teen mom crisis is something I never thought I would witness. But she understands the unique psychological pressure of recovering while the world watches. We just wish those kids safety, above all else.
Absolutely. Speaking of MTV and how they treat their talent, we have to end this segment with the end of an era. JWoww revealed that MTV didn't even tell the cast that Season 9 of Jersey Shore Family Vacation was the end of the show.
This is a masterclass in ruthless corporate behavior. Let's break down the mechanics of this.
She said they had to film 3 different endings: a cliffhanger, an undetermined see you later, and a final sobbing goodbye.
Yeah.
They had no idea they were canceled until it was announced to the public.
That is so cold.
Now they're just hoping to get picked up by Paramount Plus or Hulu.
I have to point out the sheer, unadulterated disrespect of making reality TV legends film 3 alternate endings like it's a Marvel movie instead of just telling them they are fired.
Right.
Let's analyze why a network does this. FTV didn't want the cast to leak the cancellation, and they wanted options in the editing bay depending on contract negotiations.
Right.
But the human toll...
Terrible.
You have Snooki and JWoww out there doing emotional takes for multiple timeline variants, conjuring real tears for a final goodbye just in case the network executives pull the plug. The indignity of treating the people who built your network like disposable chess pieces is astounding.
It's so disrespectful. They gave us the duck phone. They gave us GTL. They defined an entire generation of pop culture, and they deserve a proper send-off, not a multiple-choice ending manufactured by a boardroom.
Corporate media is completely ruthless, which is exactly why reality stars make such chaotic romantic choices. They know they have to keep the ratings up, or they get the multiple-choice ending.
It's so true.
Let's head into our final topics and check in on the people making the absolute messiest romantic decisions on television right now, purely for survival.
We have to end the gossip recap with 90-Day Delusions and Mormon Wives. First up, Jessie Draper from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She just walked the AMA's red carpet with Marciano Brunet from Vanderpump Villa.
A completely unhinged internetwork reality TV crossover.
She is currently getting a divorce from her husband, Jordan Gattacara, and she told reporters she's just dating around and having fun. Though, Marciano made sure to note they have an open line of communication.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
I fully, wholeheartedly support a divorce revenge dating era, especially when it involves crossing over to a completely different reality network. Go get your Vanderpump rebound, Jessie.
It's excellent cross-promotional synergy, Hulu and Hulu-adjacent properties colliding on a red carpet. It keeps both of their names in the algorithm. But moving over to TLC, the 90-Day Fiancé updates are genuinely unhinged.
Via Netherton is pregnant with her new husband, David Cherez. She said she had a really rough first trimester where she was craving raw onions and anything spicy.
Raw onions as a pregnancy craving is a massive red flag for the child's future palate, but congratulations to them.
Totally.
The real actionable mess, however, is with Marissa Rubinetti.
Oh, this is terrifying. Marissa is moving her new Dominican fiancé, Edward, into her $1 million home, and her ex-husband, Michael, is furious about the wealth disparity and the stress on their kids.
As an ex-husband might be.
But Michael didn't just express concern, he literally issued a threat, saying he will bite someone's face off if Edward stresses out their kids.
Let's conclude this recap by analytically breaking down Michael's threat. Biting a face off is very specific and highly aggressive energy to bring to a K-1 visa process.
Very specific.
You don't jump straight to face biting. That is Hannibal Lecter behavior. If I am Edward, I am terrified. But more importantly, from a legal perspective, I think U.S. citizenship and immigration services might want to look into the ex-husband before they approve the fiancé's green card.
Definitely.
Because placing an immigrant into a domestic situation where the ex is threatening literal cannibalism seems like a massive liability.
It is so aggressive. Can you imagine? Welcome to America. My ex-husband is going to bite your face off. Reality TV romance is truly a battlefield. You are fighting for a green card and your physical face at the same time.
It really is. The survival instincts required for these shows are unmatched.
And with that, we have survived another week of the absolute reality TV meltdown. Thank you to the Snark Squad for hanging out and surviving the chaos with us.
We covered a massive amount of ground today, from Italian hideaways and PR deflections to the darkest corners of MTV, all the way to face-biting threats.
Before we go, we have to ask you guys directly. Do you think manifestation actually works, or did our margaritas just get lucky with this 85-degree weather? I need to know if I should keep making vision boards or if I should just buy more tequila.
And more importantly, do you also need a vacation after returning from family vacations? Because I analytically maintain that the human body completely rejects returning to society and reading emails after sleeping in the dirt. Let us know in the comments.
Remind your messy bestie to like, comment, subscribe, and share the podcast with their messiest bestie so they can stay up to date on all the chaos.
Yes, share this with the person you immediately tasked when a Bravo celebrity flees the country.
Exactly. We love you guys. Stay hydrated, stay
Okay.
messy, and we will see you on the Snark side.